Quantum, I see you there. Come up, come up, come up.
Evening, Mr. Asian.
Obakwe, how's it, man?
I chill.
It's good. It's
What
good
is
to have you here. It's good. I hope you had a good day, though.
not the day? The day is fantastic. It's holidays this side, Ghana. We are about to celebrate independence on the 30th September.
You don't mean it. Okay, that's beautiful. That's beautiful. That's lovely. It's Quantum. Where have you been?
Hi, Mr. Ancient. I've been
I
around. I've been
I
around.
miss that. I miss that voice. I'm not gonna lie. Yo,
Same,
Quantum.
same, Mr. Ancient. Yo, nah. I've been around. I usually come in and I pop in, and then you guys discuss things, and then I leave again. The funny thing is, I don't know if you know that guy. He's always like he frequented your live the same time that I used to. I think his name is Slim G. And yesterday we were in a live because I was bored. And I asked him, "Yo, when last have you been in Mr. Ancient's live, bruh? It's been long. How have you been?"
I've been good. I've been good. Yeah, I know Slim G. Yo, he comes here once in a while. He does. Yeah, I've been good, man. We've been good. We've been doing it. We've been doing it. Oh, man, I've missed you guys. Yeah, I've missed you
Mm.
guys. You guys were my first squad. Where did you go? Yo,
Nah, you're discussing things that's above our pay grade. Yo,
wow.
imagine me. What are you discussing tonight?
You must come
You
to
all
you must come to my DM and tell me what you'd like us to discuss. That way we will discuss
no.
it.
I enjoy. I don't have any meaningful input, but I enjoy the conversation. That's why I never join the panel. So yeah, keep on keeping on, bruh.
We're trying, we're pushing, we're pushing. Clara, how are you?
Hello, Ancient.
Hello, Clara. How are
I
you,
missed
girl?
you. I missed everybody. What's wrong,
Did
Luna?
you? Did
I
you? We missed you
did.
too. Where have you been? When have you been avoiding us? I look at you.
I've been working in school. I've been struggling to juggle the two and being a mother and it's just a lot.
Shame,
It's just a
shame,
lot.
shame. But don't worry. I trust you. I trust you. I trust you.
Yeah.
I got you. I got you. I got you. I got you. You're welcome. You're welcome. Today we're discussing trauma. We're discussing those very important things that people don't want to talk about. I want us to talk about it today. Today. Sativa, please come up. Hey, I forgave my mother for putting my father first, even when he abused her physically. Wow, okay. Okay. I'd love to hear those things. Yeah, Clara, how's work though? How's life?
Work is stressful. Life is just as stressful. It's busy. It like I feel like everything just took a 360 turn, and I'm just trying to hold
Catch up.
on to something, but it's just not like it's hectic. I didn't think things would be this hectic, but they are, and I'm struggling. I'm trying to find my feet. Maybe if I can just finish with my qualification this year, next year, beginning of the year, I'll find my feet. But for now, I'm struggling, Sham. I'm really
Things are
struggling.
move things are moving too fast, yeah?
Yeah, they're moving too fast.
That's case, man. That's case. No, man, you got this. You got this. I know you've got the brains, you've got the mind, you've got the power, you've got everything you need. I know you got this, girl. Relax.
Ooh, I see what Sativa wrote there. This is what I'm going through at the moment. I forgave my mother for putting my father first, even when he abused her. Yo, Sativa, you nailed it. You summed up how I feel about my dad because I've been going through some things with my parents. Yeah, that is so relatable.
Sure. That's so sad. That's so sad. That's so sad. That's so sad. I would like to hear more. I want to hear so that let's talk about it. This is gonna be our healing hour. Let's talk about some of this because I see, or rather we can agree that many parents who are not able to deal with those traumas, they now transfer it to their own children, or sometimes they overcompensate. So because Yeah, because your parents did one, two, three, four, you told yourself, I'm not gonna do that to my child. Now you're overcompensating, and you do not know that you're actually ruining this child because you are blinded by that trauma, and I don't know how to put it. You're no longer being the real parent you should be to them because you think every moment you're now work, you're not trying to be careful how you deal with them, how you speak to them. You're being careful. So for some reason, I think we need to talk about this, how we don't overcompensate, and also how we deal with this trauma so that our children don't inherit it as well. It's very important that we have these conversations, and that's why I've brought it up here today. Brought it to my beautiful family because I trust you guys. I trust you guys to do the work. I trust you. I'm very certain. I know those are gonna be the great conversations. Glow, Kanya, how are you guys? Gentle, I see you down there. Welcome. Glow, what's up?
Hi, how are you? How are you, Ancient? How are you?
I miss you. You refuse to kiss me.
Oh my God, you're starting.
Hmm. You
Kanya
refuse
will
to
be.
kiss me.
Kanya is like at the bottom of me. You guys want to spread. You want to spread that thing Kanya knows. You guys, it's a tech team. I can see it.
No, no, it's not. You refuse to kiss me, and and you say you don't like people touching you. So now I can't even come kiss you. Hmm? And also, Kanya, why did you leave? Nah, Kanya. Kanya didn't leave me, Shem. Kanya didn't leave me. She's just saying she didn't leave me. Kanya was the one who even gave me the lines to use on you. See those lines that I was using that made you feel like, yo, this guy knows his story. They were Kanya's. Hmm? They were Kanya's.
Kanya,
So she
my
can't even
my 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 multiple personality best friend.
she can't even answer now
Glow
because
my
she's
closing, glow my closing. How are you?
I want you to speak in a different tone today. What are you? What are you? Are you colored?
No, if you want the color, then I can give you colored.
Give me colored, please.
I
Give
can
me
give you
something.
colored if that's what you want, Shay, my sis. It's my thing. When you live by yourself, what happens is you find yourself having multiple personalities because you need to talk to yourself in different voices so it feels like it's different people. Can't sound like the same person over and over again.
Mara, Ancient, how are you dealing with these personalities? Which one are you dating?
I did all of them. There are times I tell her, you know what, be my colored girl. She pulls on the color hats. And
When he
then there are
says he
times that
wants to see other women,
exactly. So whenever I feel like, you know what, I'm bored of this kind, and I'm like, yay, where's my colored one? Or where's my white girl? You know? So yeah, it's balance.
no shame,
Hmm.
Yazini. That's why I'm saying that Yazini. And sometimes he asks me for a Nigerian version of me, and I can give him. It's the one he likes the most. So
Eee.
Kanye, you are colored.
no, I'm black. I'm black. I'm very black,
Kanye,
Shane. There's nothing.
you're black.
She's
Okay.
she's as black can be.
My mom is the one that's
There's
colored,
a,
not me.
there's a,
My
okay.
mom is
There's a
colored,
there's
yes.
a stereotype among coloreds, and I've experienced it, and I know it's big enough to judge from the few. But imagine you get straight five colors and they do the same to conclude one thing from hey, these people. Mana colors are
No, you know
professional
what? No,
cheaters.
no,
Those that I've encountered.
Aubakwe, Aubakwe, let me tell you, whatever it is that you think makes colors the same, I'll tell you now as the daughter of a colored woman, you're not imagining it. Yes, it's wrong to stereotype. Yes, it's wrong, what, but I can tell you now, you are not imagining it. You are not crazy.
Yeah, yeah,
I hope it's
yeah,
not what
no.
I'm thinking, guys.
Do you
Pardon?
know what? There's multiple things where you'll ask, but how does this make sense to you? Why is this normal to you? It's normal to a colored.
Hmm. I hope it's not what I'm thinking.
Yeah,
I
but I
just hope
think
so.
it goes. All right.
Like simply the way a colored will reprimand their child, since the topic is on children here today, is not the same way any other nation will reprimand their child. A colored will throw insults like they're talking to their age mate. And hi, Clara. Clara, where
Yeah.
have you been?
Hi, Tanya.
Where have you been?
Here and there and everywhere. Here and there and everywhere. Yeah. I'm all over Kenya. Excuse me.
And what? Challenging the what's the full name? But
Challenging the
challenging.
mainstream.
Challenging the mainstream.
Okay. How are you challenging the mainstream?
I'm doing great. How are you? It's been a while since I've been on this panel.
I'm fantastic. What about you challenges the mainstream?
Everything. My bio is just like the whole thing about me is asking questions about the mainstream narrative and seeing if there's any truth to it
Give
in
us
many
one
matters.
thing, Ted. E.g.
E.g., colonization and the whole issue with modernity in Africa and why we are the way we are. So if we're truly being honest with ourselves, we if, and I know it may trigger a lot of people, we really don't like our African identity because we try to pander so much to the white man ideals in terms of how we move, how we talk, how we dress, how we appear, how we brand ourselves and everything. But we lie to ourselves that we're Pan-Africans, we like our roots and everything, but we
So
don't
how do
really go
you
for it.
apply that to your personal life? How do you dress in the day to day?
Now, on my personal life, well, it's less to do with now the dressing, but more of decolonizing my
I
mind.
mean, I want to know about the dressing part because you mentioned it and it piqued my interest. I want to see. I want to know how you dress
Oh no
when you
no,
roam around.
my dressing is
Wow, look
for
at
professional
you
reasons. The suits and
contradicting you.
everything. Yeah?
Look at you contradicting yourself.
Yeah, but you see, it's because the society has organized the structure where, you see, it's not my fault essentially. I can decide to pull up to work in a traditional attire. That's gonna be how do I say, they're gonna call it inappropriate. It's
No,
not
they
that I
won't.
don't want to. You get it? Like, yeah. So that's the whole thing I'm trying to say. We have structured our society to function on Western ideals so much that in the next, like, I give it like 50 years, we are gonna be no different from Black Americans. We will have completely lost our culture and we'll have morphed into something else that is not innately African if we continue the same trend. Yeah.
And I also want to say hi, Leon. Leon is away. Hi, Vanessa.
And guys, we are not tapping, guys. We are not tapping. What
Vanessa
are we doing?
wazwakala ngathi liphakathi kwenze njani sis? Hayi bo wena. Hayi Leon. Eh? Bonke Clara Angel. Dawe time. Ngiyaxolisa futhi ngiyazisola. Hi Leon.
Kanya, my
Yes,
toxic
baby girl.
Kanya.
Hi.
Hi. Hi.
Mama,
Hi. Hi Nana. How are you?
Mama, can we
Aish.
say Mama?
Aish. Aish. You say Mama? Okay. How are you?
Ski Mama,
Oh.
ski Mama, ski Mama, ski, and me ski, go me city.
Leon, what are you trying to do here?
Mama, skip up.
All right. Hi, Leon.
Skip, Mama.
Hi,
How are you?
we are fine.
Lovely. That's
Yes.
beautiful to see a man
Yes,
that's proud
skip
of his
cat.
family.
Bouncy.
Is that your
Okay,
daughter?
let me not disturb the panel. We can carry on.
Yeah, is
Skimming.
that your okay? Okay. Hi, Wendy.
Hi, Kanya. How are you?
I'm alright. How are you?
I'm good, thank you.
Is today the first time you're on the panel, or is it just your profile picture that has changed?
Profile picture.
I love it though. It's gorgeous.
Thank you, my love.
Is it a thirst trap? Okay, I'm joking. I'm moving on. I'm joking. I'm joking. So guys, can we please tap and reach 10k likes? Please. Well, because it's still the eight of us, I'll give grace today and make it 5k before we get into the conversation. Rory. Vanessa, angikuzwanga kahle sis.
Mm,
When's Jan? You don't sound okay today. What's wrong, mommy?
I'm exhausted.
Us exhausted, Sonke, but we are not sounding like you, hey?
Ke kgathetse Kanya. My tired is tired.
Eh, that makes you and I both a shame. I had a second baby shower today.
Yes, man.
Yes, so ish. Haven't even had the strength to open gifts.
Is it like the big one?
Yeah?
Was it the big one?
Yeah, well, it was an intimate thing with my close family members and friends.
Mm.
Yeah, and that bathtub that you recommended, somebody bought it for me.
Yay!
Yeah, and I'm there like, oop,
You
whining
know how
at
much is
a
that
movie.
bathtub? It's like
Eh?
500. When you're buying it alone, it's like 600.
I don't know how much it is, but like,
Like,
yeah, I saw it.
you buying
I
it
haven't
alone.
opened any of the gifts yet, but yeah.
Yeah, it's about five. Like the normal one, it's 5 6. The one that I have, I think it's Snuggle or something. It's from Baby City. That was 750, I think.
No, I don't know, but I haven't checked it out yet to see ukuthi kahle kahle iyiphi enjani. I'm just too exhausted. I'm only gonna start opening gifts tomorrow. Like I'm overwhelmed. It was a surprise. I never expected it. So yeah.
Yeah, I know. You sound very excited, man. That's a beautiful thing.
No, I am. I never thought like I was gonna get a baby shower or anything like that. So yeah. Anyway, yeah. So guys, we are 3k likes. Can we keep it? Can we keep it going? Keep it going. And for the other two that joined, I'm expecting that we'll be able to make up at least 7k likes somehow. Last night I saw there was good finger work last night. Can we keep it up, guys? And can we like for once nights leave the live on something over 100k likes? Ganti, do we not love our live, Ganti? We must show love to our host. Love and appreciation. Lama live lawa swajoinayo that we join once in a blue moon. You'll find it will be on 10k likes within the first hour, within the first 10 minutes. By the time you're valwa uzokuthiwa seku 4k live. Can we do the same and show our host appreciation today? You know, share the live, tap like we've never tapped before. tap like our lives depend on it. And then, yeah, we keep it going. And today, the topics at hand, I haven't actually gotten to read the topics, so I hope you don't mind me reading them out loud. Are our children inheriting our traumas we got from our parents? Are we ruining our children by overcompensating for our parents' parenting shortcomings? I wish we could go to number two, Velas Suge Bandin, but okay. Now that you know better as an adult, what did you have to forgive your parents for? Would you fight an educator for disciplining your child? I would kill them. Um, yeah. And how's my son-in-law doing there?
Your son-in-law's driving me crazy.
You Kakaragaje, but I don't like the way you're sounding, my V. I'm not happy. I'm not happy.
So, guys,
Anyway,
at 5K, we'll start the conversation. At 5K, we'll start the conversation. And if by quarter to nine, we have not hit 10K, we'll pause and hit 10K, then we'll continue the conversation again. So it means that we're starting the conversation because we need to just get in the conversation at 5K. Oh, yeah, we're already on 5K. So we must keep tapping. If by quarter to nine, we're not on 10K, we'll pause all conversations, we keep tapping. Now, I'm not asking for gifts. I'm not being that host now who's asking you to gift me. So you can decide to gift me if you want to. Kanya, tell them.
listen, people, pull out those fucking gifts. Make sure you give the host. All right? Don't want to fight no one in this panel. All right? Thank you very much.
Good, guys. Let's start the conversation. Let's start the
And please
conversation.
feel free to also give the panelists. If there's a panelist that's speaking to your soul, please feel free to gift them.
Please, guys. Wendy.
I love
Can I
you too,
start?
Wendy. Love you. Love you. Guys, we have reached 5.7k likes, and I love this rate. I wish we can keep this pace. In fact, I wish this pace could gain momentum from here going forth. But anyway, without further ado, let's get started, Mr. Ancient.
Yes. Let's start a conversation. I'd like to hear. I don't know if Albert is there. If he's not there, I'll move to Clara. I want to know, man. Our children inheriting traumas we got from our parents. First of all, what trauma do you think you got from your parents, or what are the things you consider trauma that from your parents? First of all, and then do you think that for some reason the children are beginning to inherit it? Yeah, I'd like us to speak on that. I'd like us to speak on Albakwe. Are you able to speak, or I can move to Clara?
Uh, I'm able to speak, but I just put on. I'm wondering if is it clear?
Yeah, you're clear.
Hello?
Very clear.
Not
Makeup.
clear.
Yes, you're
Oh,
clear. You're clear.
okay. Oh
Zima,
no,
darling,
that's
please
wonderful. I
mute
just put
the
on this new
feedback
headset,
coming
so
from your
I
side.
didn't know that was clear.
No,
Okay,
no, you're
thank
clear
you.
now.
Our children inheriting
John,
traumas
please
we
mute your
got
mic as well,
from
thank you.
our parents, and what are the that I got from my parents? First and foremost, I would like to state that I was not raised by my parents. I was raised by my uncle. My parents were deceased from a very young. I will regard my uncle and his wife as my parents for they raised me and understand. So obviously,
Hmm.
my perspective is based on how the upbringing they have brought upon me. For me, one of the things
Mm-hmm.
considered traumas to this day is alcohol abuse. I was staying in a family that was abusing alcohol, like the whole family, starting from well, except my wife, my that is the wife to my uncles. Understand? But from my uncle to the siblings to the people around me, they would drink alcohol and they would misbehave. You know, sometimes we'll go out without food because my uncle has went out to drink. So for me, I don't like. I've long decided not to drink alcohol and started 5. It wasn't even religiously driven. I was just young and I was just looking at how happening in the surrounding, and I said, you know what? I will not drink this thing because there are a lot of some things that you can't say public. One of my traumas growing up was alcohol. To this day, I don't like alcohol. I don't like alcohol. So one of my first traumas was it really affect a lot of things. For me, I would say most of my childhood traumas were a part and parcel of alcohol. Most of the arguments between my uncle and his wife were part and parcel of alcohol. They'll put me in a conundrum where the uncle and the wife are fighting, and then now you have to choose between the two, and the uncle would tell you, don't to the wife, but you spend most of the time with the wife, and when the uncle comes back, you now have to leave the wife. You put in a conundrum, mind you. You understand? So one of the things I don't like is alcohol, and I have made a very active decision that I will drink alcohol till this never touched a single drop of alcohol. So for me, I can say most of my childhood was affected by alcohol, either be directly or indirectly. You understand? So that is one of the things that I don't like and don't want. So I would say I don't know if to some people it's a trauma, but to me it really has a negative impact. And the second trauma that I experienced, I think this might maybe had been an issue of, I don't know, growing up not being the biological son of that family or what. But one of the things that I had was like children because I grew up with the grandkids of my uncle. Sometimes they will lie about unnecessary things. Like, for example, one time we were running from school and I was ahead of them. The younger one tripped, cried, went to my aunt and said I tripped her. My uncle beat the hell out of me. And there were so many of such instances growing up, and so many of them. Oh, there were times, that there were so many of injustices that I had seen being done to me because of the falsification of my younger nieces or relatives at that age. Made me hate children. Thank God for now I'm open to the idea of children. I just felt that children were little daredevils. Like I didn't like children. And I have to thank the Lord that I just realized that no, not all children are little dead. That it's a testimony. It were only those, or maybe affected by the environment. So one of the things that I'm promoting, and I currently don't have a child, and I've been actively not been having a child. I want to be part and parcel of my child's life. I want as a father, and I want to provide a stable environment where that child will grow under the protection of the father, the protection that I didn't have when I was growing up. So I don't know if that counts, but as for other things like beat, just jumping to the last topic, will you fight an educator for disciplining your child? I grew up under discipline. Of recently, Botswana just passed the law that stops. But for me, I don't really find problem with discipline because discipline, if it's done normal and in moderation, was good. As much as my uncle applied discipline to me, moderate with it. It was not a regular thing with me, right? when it happened, of course, maybe when it happened, unless it were those dead devils, when it was because I was misbehaving. You understand? I cannot put a stain on my ankle discipline for something that I didn't do. So I will not insult or spew insults in that family that my uncle will beat me. You understand? I will not do certain things because I knew that if I do this, I will get a whooping. If I do them and I had forgotten about the previous whooping, I'll get a whooping and it will set my mind correct. And I have also happens to be a Christian, and the Bible says, "Who spares a rod spoils a child." So I believe in discipline that is done in moderation. So I'm a discipline. Now that you know better as an adult, what do we have to forgive you? But I don't know, man. Let just them be there. They had their own thing going, so I can't really state something and say this or that. But I don't know. I don't have any beef with them now. I don't really have any beef. I don't have any big issue with them. I've just
Okay.
moved on. I don't have an
Okay,
issue with
Abako,
them.
I have
So
a question for you.
I
Sorry, I have a question for you.
yes,
Are you there? Before I move to the next speaker, I have
yes.
a question. You spoke so much about liquor,
Okay.
alcohol, and how it really influenced your childhood negatively, how you say. Do you think, would you now think that, or do you rather now conclude now that alcohol is a bad thing? Like, because you don't do it and you say you don't touch it, do you think alcohol is a bad thing?
Ne-
Absolutely bad. It's a no-go.
do I think that alcohol is a bad thing? Should I speak
Yes, I mean, would you
subjectively or
discourage
should I
would you
speak from
discourage everyone around you from drinking
my?
alcohol?
No. I will not. You understand? I have friends who are responsible drinkers, and I have a lot of those who are responsible drinkers. I have people I've never seen misbehaving after drinking. I think if alcohol is done in moderation, you understand. I have friends who understand that I don't drink. When they drink, they don't, number one, they don't force me to drink. Number two, after they drink, they behave. My issue is with people who, after they drink, they want me to accommodate them that they do in the name of I'm drunk. You understand? You now you come in my space, you are drunk, now you insult me, you are drunk, and you understand? I am against alcohol that is used. If you drink in moderation and I don't see you throwing tantrums and fits after being drunk, that's cool. I can even in fact chill with you. Now my issue is people who drink irresponsibly for that matter, and like my uncle did, people who go drink and while children are starving. Those are the people that I have a problem with. Responsible drinker, you drink and your children are well fed there, and you come home back and everything is cool, and you don't insult people after you drink. That's cool with it.
All right.
You understand?
Okay.
I
No, thank you. Thank you. I'll
answered your
come back
question.
to you again. Yeah, you did. I'll come back to you again. I'll come back. Let me move to the next panelist. I'll come back, and I'm sure people have questions for you. They'll probably, please, guys, with when it's time for rebuttal, please don't forget to ask those questions. I just wanted to understand how the what he considered a trauma has shaped his social cycle as well. That's what I wanted to get by asking that question. Clara, how are you again?
I'm
And
good. How are
do,
you?
I'm good. I've missed you though, but yeah, kisha,
I
what can I
know,
say?
I know.
You know, nah? I'm happy that
Hmm.
you know. I'm happy. Happy. And then when you were not here, they were saying I'm a flirt.
How? But you always are a flirt. Even I know that you're a flirt, miss.
Aibo, I thought you were gonna defend me when
No, I'll never. I know you're a flirt.
I'm not a flirt. I'm not a
You
flirt.
are.
I'm just a nice
You
guy.
are. You're a flirt.
I'm just a nice guy. I'm not a flirt. I'm just a nice guy. Huh? Clara, you know that. But anyway, tell me, do you think our children are inheriting traumas we got from our parents?
Yes. Children do inherit traumas we get from our parents. So let me give you guys a backstory. The only child, my parents' only child. My father has two kids, myself and my older brother, and my mother has one child with me. I grew up in a household where there's mom and dad. My brother didn't stay with us because he's from a different mother. And growing up in that particular household, it started way early. My trauma started way early. I grew up in my I grew up with my great grand with yeah at my eh, maternal grandparents and my aunts and my uncle. So I stayed there. So when I was like 2, I moved to Carltonville to stay with my great parents, grandparents, and my aunts, and then my mom was and my dad was staying this side because they were working. And then my earliest memory of um the trauma, when the trauma started, I was like I think I was between the ages of 9 and 10. I came home and I found these two ladies standing by my door, and one of the ladies' name was Maria, and she was my father's side chick. This lady came to my house to tell my mother that she was dating my dad, and I still remember how she looked. I still remember her name. I still remember how she smelled like. I still remember the outfit and the color of the outfit. So that was like the beginning. I think that was when the seed was planted, and I started seeing this man who I worshipped as my dad, and the beginning of my traumas were now unraveling. And then later on, every I would come to my parents every fortnight. So every second week, I would come to my parents' house to visit. I would board a taxi from Carltonville to Randfontein, and every weekend, when I came home, I'm only realizing now that every weekend when I came home, there would be an incident, yeah, gender-based violence that was contributed immensely by alcohol and substance abuse. My mother ran a shebeen. She left work because my dad said, "No, I don't want a wife that works. I want a housewife. So you're going to stay at home." And my mother said, "I'll sell alcohol." So my mother was selling alcohol. There was a lot of alcohol consumption. My dad didn't stop cheating. She would, I would see her on Friday when I come home, and only see him again Sunday when I go back home because he would not be home. And my mother would focus so much on what she is doing, trying to sort of ignore the fact that the husband is not home. And this perpetuating behavior was continuing. Hey guys, a lot happened. You know, when you tell people that you are the only child, people assume it's nice because you get what you want. You get your way. I'm getting emotional. You get your way, but a lot happened, and I didn't have someone I can, someone. I feel like when you have a sibling, some things you can talk to your sibling about them and say, hey, this has started, this is happening, how do I deal with this? But I didn't have that. I would have to deal with whatever that was happening on my own. I remember this one time, he came back home and he was super intoxicated. He fought my mom. It was like the wee hours of the morning. My mother and myself and my mother ran out. The gate was locked. The neighbors were minding their own business because clearly they were exhausted with getting involved with these two people's businesses. The gate was locked. We had to jump the fence to run to the neighbor's house. So, man, a lot happened until recently. The last time he physically assaulted my mother, I was not home. I came. My neighbor called me and said it's happening again. I came home. I went blank. I picked up a bottle of alcohol that he was drinking, and I missed his head. That was the last time he hit my mother, because I think that's when it clicked on him that now she's old enough. I can't do that anymore. But he continued to emotionally do it, to mentally do it. When is it, 6 years back, my mother suddenly became paralyzed. We don't know what happened. Mogai now started changing, and now he was at the prime of his life because my mother could not do anything about it. Um, Early this year, he got a job in Cape Town. He left for Cape Town. This was, yeah, early this, I think last year or early this year. And this was before telling my mother that he wants a divorce. He has been away from home. And mind you, I worshipped my dad for the longest of time. As much as a lot of these were happening, my dad was my number one. He was my go-to. I was daddy's little girl. Growing up, I was daddy's little girl. But no, now growing up as an adult, you see, no man, this has been happening for a very long time, and it's clearly not going to change. And it has nothing to do with my mother. This is the type of person that this man is. And because of the type of man that he is, you find yourself in situations where you date men who are exactly like your father, because these are the type of behaviors that you think are normal for you. You meet men who would provide, who would make sure the kids are fed, you have clothes, you have. But they're disrespectful, they're cheating, and you think it's normal. So lanka fela atla ka shabo, motla ka so patetswe, go sena dikoloto. Until later on, you're like, it's not normal. And whatever that I am tolerating with my current partner, it's because of what I saw ko gae. And because my mother doesn't see anything wrong when I complain to her that this person that I'm dating is doing this, she would say, but it's nothing wrong as long as o robala o jele, you know? So I have a lot of traumas. Um, like I have a lot of them myself. I think, but the same as Albagwe, substance abuse contributed a lot. Gender-based violence, because as much as there were physical fights, my mother would fight verbally as well. She would also say things trying to make my dad feel a certain way. And trust me, I remember 80% of the things that she would say to my dad. So yeah, when it comes to traumas, if there's anyone who understands childhood traumas and how that affects you, it's me. Because even now, at my 31-year-old, this confident Clara, I still have times where I really just break down and I'm like, I can't believe I'm only seeing this now. So are my children inheriting these traumas? Um, I think they do, Shem. I think some of the things that I went through as a child, um, unbeknown to myself, I do them to my kids, and then later on, when I sit down and I look at the looks on their faces, I realize, okay, my reaction towards what they did, it's not because they did something super wrong, but I'm reacting because that's how I was raised. But then moving on to the next question, yeah, now that you know better as an adult, what did you have to forgive your parents for? I forgave Simi. Who's the lady who said it? Is it Simi? Who's it? Who's the
Is that
lady
to
Ethan?
sativa or something? I think
Ativa.
sativa.
Yeah, she said, I forgave my mother for putting my father first, even when he abused her physically, because most of the time my mom did put my dad first. I remember when I had my first emotional breakdown, um, I said to her, I want Khudisa. Stop telling people you chose this man before me. You chose to stay with him even when he was not good for you. You decided to be a wife before becoming a mother. You decided to stay with someone who physically abused you. You decided to put your dreams away and shelve them and to accommodate what my father wanted. So don't come into my space and try to make me feel guilty for not taking care of you. You did that all to yourself. But later on, after therapy, they made me realize it's those are her errors. I can't judge. You can't judge people for the decisions that they made with their lives. It's completely up to them. When people do certain things, um, unfortunately, our parents don't think beyond. They think about now, what is happening now. So I had to forgive her. Hore, you put my father first. You chose being a wife before being a mother. So you can't. So I had to forgive her for that. Yeah, yeah, that's all.
Okay, quite interesting. Really interesting. I have a lot of questions for you, but I'm going to hold back and just let the conversation flow. And yeah, it is well. It is well. Wendy,
Hi guys. Hi,
you're
Mr.
well. Do you think our children are inheriting traumas we got from our parents?
Yes, yes, because like when you look at it, a trauma, it's like I'm still digesting everything. Like even me, like the stories that are being told, like it's going back, like to my memories. That's still like you just remembering while someone is still sharing their traumas, and like you just reflect back as well. That's trauma. Because yes, they do, because it's about the behavior of stress and trauma. It's all about like the behavior, and then like it gets to kids in a way that it's passed on, because kids, they can study the behavior, they can see how you use your words and all that. So sometimes the trauma just like the fear, let's say the child's trying to do something and your trauma just comes and being triggered, say like something familiar that is happening, and then your child is trying to do, and then you start shouting or you start wanting to hit the child because of like you are like you're putting your fears to that child doesn't know what is happening with my mother or my father right now. Like they don't understand. So it does a lot. Like on my side, like I grew up as the oldest sister. I was the first child out of my five siblings at home. So I was the oldest daughter, and we were raised by a single mother, and all that was coming back to me because she had to go and hustle, and she left us with someone she thought we were safe with, and the lady just left us, and the house had no windows, even though we grew up like it was a rural area, and maybe crime is not, people would think that crime was not that much, but it was bad, guys. And with that, when I see growing up, like I didn't realize, I thought, okay, it's okay, my mother left us, and I didn't get to play with other kids because I had to cook, look after my siblings and all that. I had to be a mother. So growing up, I was like looking after my siblings, and I like didn't enjoy the time of being a child, like realizing that I'm a child as well. I need to play, and I need to know that I'm like, I was seeing myself as a parent. And then growing up there and there, and then you didn't like those traumas happening around you, you don't realize, and you don't like realize that I haven't forgiven my parent for those things. Like, why would my parent do this and that? Why would my parent consider this and that? And then you grow up, it's okay until you get to a point whereby you reach to be a parent as well. You experience to be a parent, or you experience to, like, you're trying to be an adult, and then when you talk about, like, there's a time whereby you have to talk about some things that you went through, and then you start crying, and then you start like, oh, which means I haven't forgiven, like, anything that happened to me in the past. And yeah, it does. And then to myself, before I had my first, like, I had my child, like, I had to go through therapy, had to go through things, because I was being a parent to a relationship. Like, I was like a mother, like, growing up saying, I overdo things, because that's what I know. I don't know about anything about, like, how to react in, like, to certain things, like certain behavior when someone does something. And then, so yeah, it does, the behavior on parents and the way they do things, and in being emotionally unavailable to their kids, it affects them. So it passes through, like to the kids. And then we need, like I always said, those therapy, going through therapy and all that, I was trying to not to prevent it from my son being, like, to pass it through to my son. So it's kind of a lot. Like, we escaped by me. I'll say by the Lord's grace, I escaped many rapes growing up, because I was protecting my sisters and my brothers, and all, as well, trying, like, sleeping with a knife under your pillow, trying to protect your siblings. And you, like, okay, even yourself, you're still a kid, but you're trying to protect them. But when you try to share it with your parent, and then you feel like not being supported enough, then when you realize going to varsity, and you realize there's some help there and there, but you grow up not realizing you need help. Sometimes you just say, I'm okay, I'm strong, I'm fine, until you are with other people, and then that's where it comes. So yeah, I believe so. It does inherit to kids, and you just have to try and figure out yourself that I need help, and then so that you won't pass it on to the next generation or your kids.
Wow. Yo, okay, it is well. Guys, this room is becoming more emotional. I didn't expect it to get this bad, to get this deep, rather. I thought we're just gonna have a cool chat, but yeah, it's good. We're having our healing hour. I'm assuming it's a good one. It's a good one. Kanya, you're supposed to be moderating, but I know that you're attending to the live and also attending to life, basically. Tell me, do you think our children are inheriting traumas we got from our parents?
Right. So, my submission, our children, yes, they are. And it's not just traumas that they're inheriting, but a lot of the time we get so fixated in making sure that our children don't have the same upbringing that we have, that we forget to take away what is good from our upbringing. We just want to taint everything as bad to a fault, to a point where even the good things that you got, even the good lessons that you got out of it, you will, like, for example, let's say you got beaten black and blue when you were growing up. You will just decide, I'm never going to hit my child, and you're going to go the gentle parenting route, which is not great for the child either. So I feel like we have an issue of discernment in this generation, because we are so fixated on not having our children have the same upbringing as us, so much so that we end up destroying our kids in a different way, whereas the aim is to build them, not to destroy them. So, but we end up just, finding ourselves in that vicious cycle of traumatizing them in one way or the other anyway, just because
Are you suggesting that we are overcompensating?
to a certain degree, yes. I do feel like that. I do feel like we do tend to overcompensate when raising our children, And by the time you understand why certain situations played out the way they did in your childhood, it's too late now to reverse or rectify, because you've already planted these toxic patterns within your child, all in the name of trying to avoid the toxicity you grew up around, without actually sitting down to take stock that, okay, there's been bad things, yes, this has been very detrimental and it's valid, but also during those bad times there were good lessons from it. There was good that you could have taken away from it. So yes, I would say we are ruining our kids by overcompensating. And for me, the first question that you asked, the traumas that I've had to heal from, okay, now my traumas feel like they sound minimal after hearing everybody's submission, but you know what? I guess everybody's trauma is valid. But for me, in hindsight, it would be chasing a better life to a fault, chasing the chasing the bag thing. It's just that in that time I didn't know it was chasing the bag, but seeking a better life while forgetting to take stock of what you currently have, while forgetting to actually get comfortable in the achievements that you have been dying to achieve last year, the constant hunger for brand new goals, a better life, to the point where you neglect your family's health as a family unit. And also being everybody's savior around your children is also not what I would, is another thing I found as a trauma, that, okay, now everybody would find themselves as refugees in our home or one thing or the other, and it would get to a point where they would get entitled to my home space, to my space, to a point where I would feel like an extra in my home, because now we are constantly accommodating somebody, one person or the other. So I personally would keep my home space with my children as their home, without compromising their day-to-day life just because somebody needs help from me, number one. And also making sure that as a mother, I want to be the one to raise my child. And I don't want it to be a situation where, like I always say, that I was raised by my father for the majority of my life. And while I was being raised by my father, obviously there were different mother figures that would come in. Others would now feel like it's wrong for me to build a relationship with my mother by the time I met my mother. And once again, and my mother came in and stepped up and became a mother, I was deprived of just being able to build a relationship with my mother from just her as my mother, because there was always somebody whispering in my ear that, okay, but so now you've got your mother, now you've forgotten about us. Whereas I was just a child. I had the right to get to know my mother and actually have my mother get to know me. And I had the right to claim my mother as my mother. But I find myself in a situation whereby I have to be claiming the whole world as my mother, just because of the people who chipped in my mother's absence. And mind you, it wasn't with no benefit while they were chipping in. But, it's things like that I can see. But also in the same regard, I feel like I might find myself in the situation whereby I am chasing a better life for my child better, because now I have to do it alone as a single mother. So obviously I have to work twice as hard for my baby girl. I have to do certain things that I wouldn't normally have dreamed of doing, because I want to see my baby girl living a certain life, but also in the same regard, I've taken that I need to learn to not use while I'm chasing a better life for her, I should also care for her emotional well-being. It's not just about the fact that she's clothed and fed and going to sports and going to school and keeping her life busy. No, I need to physically be present for my daughter and make sure that I'm there for her, for every milestone, for everything, because I know it was weird for me as a girl child having to go to my father starting my period. I now understand how hard that must have been for him. But at the time, that's my father. I know what I'm, that's what I know. And I've just started my periods, and yeah, he didn't really know how to handle it, you know. And there was a lot of things that as a girl child I would experience and have to run to my father, that I would have needed my mother there instead, you know. So what would I have say? What would I say? What did I have to forgive my parents for? I'd have to forgive them for thinking that they had for seeking better, I guess. I'd have to forgive them for going out there. I understand that they were doing it for their children and all of that, but in the same regard, it I feel like they could have achieved better if they had just taken time to appreciate what they currently had and continued to build on what they currently had instead of seeking greener pastures in every corner, you know. So yeah, because I feel like if they hadn't done that, what we would still have had a, a fairly good life, and it would have been more balanced because both parents would have been at home. And one thing I've learned, I've had to forgive, is my father for waiting for my mother for that long, because I personally would not wait for a person for as long as my father had to wait for my mother to come back without replacing them, because ain't no way, you know. So yeah, I've had to forgive them for putting each other first and not their children in terms of emotional well-being. But yeah, that's my submission.
Okay, Kanya. Well, there's something you said anyway that I quite disagree with, but every other thing, I do not know was your experience. You saying that you're having to now be a single mother. How are you a single mother when I'm here? What's your problem? Well, anyway, let me move. Le- what is it? What do you want to say?
What does she mean by being a single mother when you are there, Mr. Ancient?
Exactly. What does she mean?
Oh,
Help me ask her. What does she mean?
you
Just
know, as
so
a woman who's coming in with a baby.
just so that you know, there are a lot of men out there like me who a baby can stop us. You understand? I've
Barely.
heard a lot of men. I've heard a lot of men say, I will give her a child, my brother. I will take that child, raise him, and he will call me father."
It's good to know. Thank you. No, I'm too anxious. I told you that now is a phase for me to get to know myself as a mother. How I'm not looking at Mjolo right now.
Me, I don't want to jollo though. Oh, but it's fine.
Matters
Le-
of the heart only have space for my baby girl right now.
Fair enough. Very, very fair enough. Challenging the mainstream. How is it?
Bonjour, bonjour, mon ami. How are you doing?
Bonjour, bonjour. Ça va?
Yeah, so okay, let me get to the prompt and the question you asked. So are our children inheriting traumas we got from our parents? Yes, yes, yes. But there's a caveat to that. I think the only time they are inheriting the only reason they're inheriting them is because people are getting kids or starting families before they heal from their childhood traumas. There are those incidences where you would heal first and you would be totally aware of what went wrong and you reconcile with your childhood and everything, and then you can actually raise your kids from a clean slate. You don't pass on any traumas to them, but majority of people have no idea how to heal. It's like they take it as if it's something too hard to do, or they don't want to appreciate the process. It's a painful one, but it's worth it. So instead, what they do, they just continue living life from the lens of their traumas, the lens that they got from their childhood, and eventually that leads to them raising their kids the same way, or in a way copying and transferring the same traumas that they got from the parents. So that I would say yes, but not always, and there is a way to avoid it. As for the other thing, are we ruining our children by overcompensating for parents' parenting shortcomings? Yes, Yes, very much. Very much. Overcorrecting is just an extreme. It's almost as bad as trauma. Because the moment you're trying to avoid your child from getting any any type of pain, what you're doing is five star, mute your mic. So I'm trying. Okay. Yeah. So the overcompensating bit, the moment you're trying to avoid or to prevent your kid from facing the same kind of trauma that you went through, of or some type of pain that you went through in your childhood, you go too far to the overcorrection bit, that you tend to caution them to the same into a sense that they become numb to the experience, or oblivious of the fact that there's a facet of life that could exist where such kind of pain is a reality. So later on, because life is life, they're going to get introduced to that kind of what do we say, pain somehow through the world, and they're not going to know how to deal with it. So I'm not saying that you should expose your kids to pain or to trauma, but the overcompensating bit cushions them too much into it, assumes a certain naivety, as if they're never going to experience any type of problem or any type of pain later on. And what ends up happening is you create a spoilt brat, whether materially speaking or emotionally speaking, and that tends to also affect them equally as bad as the trauma would have affected them. So that I do agree. Now, and would you fight an educator for displaying your child? Okay, now that will depend on the extent of the disciplining and if the kid actually deserved it. Because again, I'm not trying to raise a spoiled brat, and I'm not trying to assume that I have the 100% absolute moral compass for what is wrong and what is right, meaning because the moment you don't appreciate someone else correcting your child, what you're feeding your child is the idea that correction can only come from you. So anytime that you're not around, then they can fuck up around and mess up with everything, because mommy's not around to correct me, daddy's not around to correct me. And provided mommy or daddy doesn't know, bingo, the world is my oyster. I can mess with it however I want. So that would be the issue that would come with that. So it is good to allow an instance, a situation where you can correct your kid can be corrected by someone else, but also the disciplining has to have measures. You're not gonna break my kid's arm or whip them almost as if they're some type of slave and expect me to be cool with it. We're gonna have issues. So now to the issue, the big question that you've asked, personal traumas. Now mine is very complicated, very deep, and very not necessarily painful, but weird, and in a self-harming kind of way, because straight up from when I was young, I'm one of those kids who are born with, I don't know, absurd amounts of understanding. I don't want to call it wisdom, but these kids who are able to understand adult issues at an extremely early age, such that if something goes wrong and you don't cry for shit, you understand if your parents don't have the money, if mom and daddy are arguing, you understand. Somehow you just understand it's normal in a marriage for some weird reason. You haven't been through any training, you haven't been through any type of teaching that would put that type of knowledge into your mind, but somehow you understand that that is how life functions. It was very weird for me, but that was how I was straight from when I was very young. So my life started off when I was kind of what we call an accidental pregnancy. So, and it took time for my dad to get ready to accept the pregnancy and to raise me. So at the time, and my mom wasn't even prepared as well. So I got shipped off to stay with my grandma from when I was, I think, straight up after breastfeeding till I was 8 years old. So when I was 8 years old, mom and dad came and picked me up. Now they are ready to do the parenting bit. And that point is when now I got introduced to the dynamics of the relationship that they had. Before, there was no violence, there was no drama, it was all love. Because in grandma's house, you know how grandparents are with their kids, they spoil you a lot. So when I got with my parents now, the relationship drama started coming in. There was GBV incidences. And I remember one particular time, I was 7 years, and My dad was fighting my mom so bad, so terrible. And my mom asked me one question: how are you sitting there watching your dad do this to your mother? Simple question, really, but to a 7-year-old, that does a lot. That does a lot. It implied I have a stake into whatever issue they're having over there. I owe some type of reconciliation. As if I have, it assumes I have a part to play in it. And that weighed on me heavily for years. To a point where anytime there would be an incidence of repeated incidences where they were fighting and the fight became physical or extreme, I didn't have the capacity to restrain my dad. He was huge. And I was just a kid. There's nothing I can do. So that helplessness, it materialized into something else, a feeling of pointlessness, of uselessness, as far as helping matters to do with this issue is concerned. And it got to a point where I started blaming myself, because I started thinking perhaps if I was strong, if I was big enough, or if I was man enough, I could actually stop it. And mind you, I understood that the dynamics of a relationship they were functioning from, dad was XYZ, mom was XYZ. I understood the personalities. I understood why they would clash, why they would have issues. I had the complete understanding of the situation. But the helplessness bit of it is the issue, because you know so much, but you can do nothing about it. And then here you have a woman who's your mom crying for help. So it became extremely difficult. And it got to a point where I felt so useless. And I think at age 11 was my first incident where I tried to unalive myself. It backfired, but straight up from when I was 11 to my very last incident, which was sometime in 2017, I think I've had around 13 attempts at it. And it all stems back from that particular moment. That fed a toxic mentality in my mind where I felt I was completely useless. And that became my view towards life, my view towards everything, towards relationships, towards, it's that viewing life from the angle of, if you can't help this, of what use are you to this, of what use are you to this, of what use are you to this. So that became my kind of a de facto mental state for a very long time, right? And then later on, my dad would understand his mistakes. He was very sorry, and he even sat me down to apologize for everything that had happened, which I applauded. But it doesn't take away the trauma, especially since I had a younger brother who I had to shield from all this trauma. So I had to take it all in, and I had to protect my brother. He was still quite young at the time, so I had to come up with narratives to explain, like say, daddy was watching a game and with mommy, and they were just celebrating too hard, and because at the time they were fighting, I had to keep my brother in the bedroom and, stop him from seeing all of that and feed him the white lies so that it can shield him. And it worked. It totally worked. But I was the one taking all of that. Never did it occur to them that this might affect me mentally. Never did it occur to them that this might affect me emotionally or in any type of way. Later on, I developed a lot of mental health issues. I didn't have no one to talk to. One time my grandma spoke to me, and later on, sometime later, she got diagnosed with diabetes, and I felt as though now burdening her with my issues is kind of going to stress her and worsen the situation. So I started keeping it inside, and that is what would lead to the multiple attempts at taking my life. And it got to a point where I lost all meaning in life. Life was just useless for me. And I remember that all these times, the only one thing that kept me grounded, perhaps, or kept me hopeful in as far as life is concerned, was I really loved my brother and I wanted to see how he's going to grow, how he's going to turn out. It's kind of like my love for my brother is what kept me grounded this entire time. I had no love for my own life. I had no love for anything else. I had no value in anything else. And that would affect my entire worldview because I became complacent in terms of ambition. I became complacent in terms of, trying out things. I became complacent. And this really affected me a lot because I have a lot of potential. I was quote unquote a genius, but I didn't achieve my full potential despite, all the accolades I got even through high school, my degrees and everything. Still, I didn't achieve as much potential as I could have because I was doing it all for show because I just wanted to fit in. But as far as my life is concerned, I had no meaning for it. But in 2018, something weird happened. I like calling it the voice of God, but something just spoke to me deep down in my conscience. It was like, quit being a bitch, And it felt harsh because I was the victim in this case. But that's what it said. Quit being a bitch. Your parents are also experiencing life for the first time. So whatever mistakes they made, it's not like they had a manual to life. So they were experiencing it the first time. Every mistake they made, they were also doing life for the first time. So forgiving from that perspective would be easier. And that was what I did. I forgave my entire childhood. I forgave everything that happened. I forgave every single thing that happened in my life. And then at that moment, like some magic trick, all of a sudden, avenues started opening up in my life. My creativity sparked up again. Um, everything that had lost meaning, I started finding the beauty in life, and that's how I worked up to where I am right now. I'm still getting better at it, but yeah, I would say the thing that I forgave my parents for was not essentially what they did, but I understood that they are also doing life for the first time. Most of the times we expect our parents to be perfect, but they are no different from you. They're just experiencing life from the first time. The same mistakes you make, you should also approach them with the same grace. They made mistakes as well. They're doing life for the first time. So if you look at it that way, it becomes so easy to forgive. So yeah, that would be my submission. But it really gave me time to reflect back to a time. And ever since then, ever since I forgave them, life became just easier. It became easier to a point that I really had to think back to that particular moment where all this was happening when you asked the question. But I've realized how much I've healed because it doesn't affect me anymore. So yeah, you can go to the next person, but that would be my submission.
All right, thank you so much. Um, yeah, okay. Glow, are you there? How are you?
I'm fine. How are you?
I'm okay. Tell me. Are our children inheriting traumas we got from our parents?
Uh, yeah, they probably are because I get it. They are like children easily pick up traits and they pick up like they adapt to an environment. What they see is what they probably are going to um portray outside and stuff like that. So yeah.
So, do you think we are ruining our children by overcompensating for the shortcoming of our parents? Do you have any trauma or anything you consider a trauma that you felt, "Ah, you know what, I had to overcome this personally because I know this was not the right thing. This was not the right way to grow."
Um no.
Okay, you're so lucky. So you grew up in a
It's
very
not
perfect.
luck. I probably maybe my trauma is that I forgot
It seems
about
like you
the
grew up in a perfect home.
no, maybe my trauma is that I forgot about the trauma.
Okay, that's
You
good.
know, you
That's
know, you
good.
know, you know, your brain has that thing where it'll take what your bad memory and just take it somewhere. I think my brain is wired like that.
Okay, so but now that you know better as an adult, what did you have to forgive your parents for?
I I don't fault my parents in anything. I don't want to lie. They were fine.
Do you plan to have children?
Yes.
How many?
Like 3 children. Why are you laughing, Ancient?
Wait. And would you love to raise them exactly the way you were raised?
100%. And I want my husband to be like my father.
Ah, okay. Somebody's already saying they would love to meet you as a mom. All right, let me pause on you now because it looks like there's a lot going on that I will
And
find
I
out
don't
soon.
even I don't want a nanny, by the way. That's my trauma. I don't want a nanny. I want a parent like my mother. I want
Did you
I
have,
want to be available, present there.
so you didn't have it anyway now?
I never had a nanny.
Okay, sounds
Yes.
good.
And I love that about my mother. I think that's what I don't have traumas. It's because my mom was present. She was there. Maybe my trauma is that my father was never there. He never went with us to buy grocery. I think that's my trauma.
How? Your father didn't go buy groceries with you, and that's trauma. when,
Yes,
when are
we
you
went with the mother.
when are your trauma went to great modesty, eh?
Yeah, I was sitting under the tree, drinking alcohol. That's my trauma.
Your trauma is a model C trauma. Your father did not go buy groceries with you, and that. You know what? Let me leave you before before I get in trouble. Star, Star, over to you. Are you able to speak now? Yo, Modimo. Oh, is Star there? Because Star, you're next. Albakwe had spoken earlier. He was the first.
Let me try and summon him.
Please.
Dear married man star. Maybe he's genuinely busy. Shame.
Or he's doing married man duties. Maybe he's going to buy groceries. Yo, Glow. My love for Glow, it just keeps increasing by the day.
Chloe is so straightforward. She doesn't have time for nonsense. She doesn't have time for nothing on the side. Like la la la. She's a focused hand.
Shame. Yeah. She traumatizes me too, however
So,
focused she
Glow, do you
is.
want to be
Glow.
stay-home mom?
How? Glow. Your non-trauma
Glow,
is
do you want to be a
traumatizing me.
stay-home mom?
So wait, Glow, by the way, yeah,
What?
exactly. By the way, Glow, you said you want a father like your father. You want a husband like your father. Do you
Yes.
also want your husband not to go buy groceries with you?
Yes. I want him to give me the money to go. The card,
And
actually, at the end of the month.
and so he doesn't need to go buy groceries with you.
Yes, and then I'll come back and give him change.
How? Would there be change anyway? With you, I
You
don't think
see,
there will be change. But
if there's
anyway.
no change, there's no change.
I have a
But,
question for
but,
the
but
panel.
then, don't you think your children will also have trauma to say, "Oh, my father did not go back," the same way you say that's your trauma?
If that's their trauma, then they'll be fine in life. They won't die.
No, no, I don't know where you came from, but yeah, Suga.
It's
Yo, I'm done with you, Glow.
No, me,
You're
I'm,
a
a,
great.
I'm a,
no, but I mean, not buying groceries.
Kanya, you said you have a question.
Yes, I'm gonna pose it to everybody on the panel to say now that we've gone through the traumas and we've purged and spoken about that, I feel like it would be an injustice to just dwell on the traumas without acknowledging the good things and saying what are the good things that you took from your parents that you take with you to date and you will forever carry with you through it all.
Kanya, who should go first?
Uyazazi Clara, unmutile.
Can I go first since I was first?
Oh, so now if there's any good thing that I would take okay, I'm going to start with my mom. Good things that I can take from her is that, yo, she's very strong. Eh? Now, guys, I've never, with everything that has happened, unless it was physical, I've never seen my mother crying for that man. I have never heard my mother crying, or maybe she was doing it since ke robetse, or like I'd never hear my mother crying and be like, he cheated. That lady would be a gangster after those women would come to tell her that they're dating my dad. That woman would take out a Hansa Pilsner and just drink and laugh and cook, and everything with me and her will be back to normal. So she's very strong. She laughs things off. She's very resilient. Whatever happens, she would never be like, "Oh, what are people going to say? People are laughing at me by the streets there." She would go out, dress up, smell good, and walk with her head held high, no shame, no scam, nothing. And she would say, it has nothing to do with me. It has absolutely nothing to do with me. Kore. He did what he did. He did what he did because he would do it. He wanted to do it anyway. So, ga e batle nna eo. And from my dad, Shem, my dad would provide. My dad provide. Regardless of the amount of side chicks he had, that man would come back on a Friday before he leaves. He will make sure that he buys groceries for days. He will make sure before he leaves, he takes me to the supermarket, go spa, and he would ask me, Tando, what is it that you want? And I would buy. My dad, I don't know how he got time, but he would with growing up and being getting into my teenage years, the first person on Kisitsenko legit is my dad. We worked inside Stropoya legit, and he sat there and he said, buy whatever you wanted. So when it comes to providing, he came out tops. He came, Bona, he was at the top of the list. With giving my mother money, top of the list. With making sure that everyone was a kid, top of the list. He just patjazed along the way and last and uthanda ubufefe, and otherwise, Shem, we've always been a family that went out to the butcher to buy pork, mutton, lamb, fish, chicken, bacon. We had all of that. The only thing that we were complaining is that the person who bought the food is not here. But otherwise, school fees was paid, transport was paid, I had uniform, I had everything that I needed from school. It's just that he was not there most of the time. Yeah, so that's all.
Okay, I'm opening it. Anybody can come in now. Anybody, it's open now. The panel is open for full conversation. So you may notice I'll be quiet for a long time now.
Okay, Mr. Ancient. Wendy, do you have anything to say?
Yeah, on that point you were saying, Kanya. Yeah, on my side, I'm kind of confused with that because, like, my dad came back when I was in matric, and I was like, okay, when you are confused about your parent, if they are there for what intentions, and then you'll be like, you just ask for money when it's needed, like so. I was like, when he tried to like have a relationship with me and my mom again, so it was kind of a bit hard to say there was a relationship. But when they like, you need something, I'll just call out and say I need something. And then my mother, I started to see her more of her love when now, like right now, when I grew up and I'm like like at this in my adulthood. But when I grew up, like I was not kind of bit closer with her, but she was hustling for us to have a better future. So I would say yes, for that, not giving up for us, that was something big. And as a single mother, you and making sure you don't give up for your kids. Yeah, so in that sense, I would say yeah, there was those things that I've said. I would say yeah, with my mom, but with my dad, honestly, I'll be honest, like I'm not sure, like I'm kind of not sure, because that was like even like when I like right now that we didn't have that connection of a relationship. Yeah, but other than that, yeah, I'm grateful to God for my mother, even though she didn't know what she was doing and she was not like sure what to do or how to protect, how to do everything at once, because she's a mother. There's some roles that will need to be played by a man, as like a father side, whereby she couldn't reach that part, and she was trying her best to reach all the parts. So I totally understand, as I've forgiven everything, and I've seen like okay, she did try her best in that sense. So for her being strong enough, I've learned that for us to just have a better future. Yeah.
You know, at the end of the day, that little bit of positivity that you might not be able to even speak about, even the smallest things, they do count. And because you can't speak about it doesn't mean it's not there at all. But I do appreciate your submission, and I hope that you can be the mother that you want to be if you don't already have children. If you do, I just pray that you're doing a fantastic job going forth. But yeah, let's go. Does anybody else have a submission to say this is the positive I can take from my upbringing before I
Yeah,
come in with my own?
I can go. Okay,
Please, please.
personally, I think it would be everything else other than what I stated as the negatives. Generally speaking, my parents were, how would I say, mm, dad was provider.
Sorry to interject, challenging guys. The tapping has gone down. I'm not happy. Can we up the momentum? We started on a good streak this evening. Can we keep that good streak that we were on of liking and liking and liking and liking until our fingers drop, please? You may continue challenging.
Okay, yeah, my father is an excellent man in terms of provision, hardworking. You know, other than the whole violence and being like a dictator bit, which he also, stopped when he changed. He changed for the better. It He is an overall quote unquote perfect man in the sense that everything you'd want to be as a man, you know, everything that a guy would want to be as a man, he hits it out of the park. Provider, protector, he's there when you need him to be. He's conscious of his mistakes. He's also understanding. He's just an overall perfect man. And as for my mother, the amount of love that lady has is enormous. And the thing I would say about them both as a combination of parents is their capacity for, how do I say, letting us be autonomous in terms of our destiny. You know how African parents tend to be dictators in terms of, I want you to do X course when you're done with school. I want you to have this path of life. You must have these values. They were not like that. They are very supportive of any choice we make, and they don't impose anything on us. So that's like the greatest gift I could ever get from my parent. I would come up with an idea like, say, I have this, I want to do this and this and this, and they're like, okay, we trust you, cool, we're gonna support you with everything you need. you just pursue that. So that would be everything I would say in terms of positivity, other than the whole issue of the negative bits that I said earlier, which were very detrimental, of course. Everything else was quite literally perfection about them. Yeah.
Mm, beautiful, beautiful. And I find it even more beautiful than that, even after the story that you just shared, you are still able to see positives. That's even wow. Yeah.
Yeah, it's a
Okay.
it's a good healing process. I encourage it. Healing is important.
Okay. Please submit yours.
Hello?
Yellow, yellow.
Mike, yeah, I think I'm having a problem with the network. For me, I think discipline works. I agree with discipline. I feel I'm where I am because I didn't do a lot of things that my age mates were doing because I knew if I did them, I would get beaten. So I advocate discipline. So they were strict on discipline. For example, uh, my uncle's wife was a person who was very open with insults. But if you imitate her and my uncle catch you, he will beat you like crazy. You understand? I remember one time somebody was beaten for saying the word "fotek." I was watching. I never said it in his midst. You understand? And even up to today, I'm not a person who spews out insults because that kind of beating is still with me. And one time we also caught up smoking, and my cousin, uh, he gave us the beating of our lives. I still remember that day. That man beat us, and because of that, we never picked up smoking. You understand? So I'm a firm believer of discipline. So I believe discipline has its positivities as much as people are criticizing it. I believe in discipline. I think discipline put kids in order. I don't know. That's my take.
Mm. Glow.
Anya, let me not say anything.
I boo.
Okay, let me just say this.
You
What
know
I
that
love.
you appreciate that your father was a provider and
Okay, I just want to say this about my mom, and I wish um a lot of moms or me, I can be like that when I'm. My mom was very self-aware, and the open communication that she had with me and my sister, and the fact that she knew me so well. Like my mom, she knew me so much to a point. Like if I'm not feeling well, or if I'm not talking in a certain manner, like those little things. She was self-aware of her children. Like that's what I want with my children. Like I want to know when they are angry without them telling me. I don't know if you understand. That's what I appreciate about my mom. I think, and I feel like that's so important when you're a mother, to be self-aware of your children, like what they like, what they don't like, what are they good at. I think that plays a big role than a parent that's just there providing and just cooking and not just folding clothes and not really knowing you as a child, you know. So I just wanted to say that about my mother.
oh, beautiful, beautiful, beautiful. No, I mean, I would say what I took from my parents. What do you have to say? Okay. I, Kanya, would say, first of all, I am forever and eternally grateful for how strict they were. The things they didn't allow me to do when I thought it was just something that was, I'd take it at face value. And now I to grow up and see people who were allowed to do the things that I wasn't allowed to do are not exactly the greatest, And so I'm grateful for how strict they were. And also during the time when they were strict, there was a beautiful balance between being strict and also having open communication. Like, for example, with my mom, when we finally had the time to actually build our relationship, I would not run to my friends to talk to them about things like my relationships and stuff like that. I would run to my mom. Anything to do with anything that I was going through, my mom was the place I would run to. Like, if something happened or I went on a date and I'd come back and my mom is not home, it would frustrate me because I need to tell this girl how this happened and what happened. And with my work frustrations, my mom was my point, was the place I went to. It was so much that she knew my colleagues and their behaviors one by one without even having met them. So that, to me, I will want to have that kind of relationship with my daughter, for her to know that the first place that she runs to is me, not her friends, not other people, but me. I need her to be comfortable enough for me to be the person that she runs to with anything that's on her mind. And with my father, yeah, again, I will say he was very strict. So even while he was strict, he was the parent that would tell you, I love you, I this, all of that. He was the emotional parent. He was the one that was more emotionally available, whereas my mom was mentally available. So I think that was a beautiful balance. I would have loved to experience it throughout my childhood consistently, but unfortunately, God had it another way. So yeah. And also, one thing that I appreciate from my father is he taught me to be independent. He taught me to never depend on a man for anything. Like, these days, there's this culture of indoda must, a boyfriend must do this for you, and all of that. For me, it was always, what you can't do for yourself, don't expect the next person to do for you. What I have not done for you as your father, don't expect another person to do for you. It was always, yes, if somebody goes above and beyond, that's beautiful, but don't find yourself dating from a place of hunger. And the fact that my father would take me through different experiences and expose me to different things, and his reasoning behind it was always, I don't want some boy coming to show you these things and you thinking it's the be all and end all of the world. Understand that when I'm doing these things for you, it mustn't be brand new to you when some guy is coming through trying to woo you using these tactics. So I don't know, maybe it's not a good thing, because I see lately it's not a good thing to date a person for who they are. But for me, even in dating, I have not been able to date somebody because they provide something, because I felt like I had the provision myself. So by the time I was getting into a relationship, it was about how this person treats me in every other aspect outside of the provision. It was never about what this person could give me. It was about how my life can be made easier outside of financial provision by being with this person. So it was more, for me, I date more on an emotional level. I know in this day and age, they say, stop taking your heart into a relationship, take your kidney. But for me, I've never subscribed to that culture because of the values that were instilled in me. It never made sense for me to expect a boyfriend to give me a girlfriend allowance. Although I see it happening around, it will always make me look like, I don't know. It didn't do well for my street cred. It didn't do good for my street cred. But outside of my street cred, me as a person, it left me content. Like, no matter who's in my life or not in my life, I'm never in a relationship because I'm dependent on that person financially in any way, shape, or form. I'm in that relationship because I want that person as an individual, as a human being, never because they provide for me or they do this for me. So yeah, that I will forever be grateful for. Welcome to the panel, Putsia.
Hi, hello, Kanya.
How are you?
Good, thanks. How are you, my sister?
I'm all right. And how are you, Marcia?
Hi, Tanya, and hi, everyone else.
How
Guys,
are you?
I'm actually recovering from a horrible flu. I'm not sure if you can tell.
Yeah. Shoot, your voice is loyal to you.
Njengoba injena.
You're sounding beautiful.
Oh, thank you so much. I am so congested, you guys, but I hope you guys may appeal. I'm so glad that I can join you guys today.
All right. So, Aobakwe, please do submit your CV, sir. Please feel free to submit your CV. Aobakwe. Okay, Aobakwe has left after requesting to submit his CV. Okay. So to wrap it up, and okay, not necessarily wrap it up,
Wait.
but
What CV is he submitting now before you wrap that part up?
I don't know. Oh, CV, not submission. Okay. I
Kanya,
was slow.
Kanya,
I was a
Kanya,
bit.
you're on high demand from
I
Mr.
was.
Ancient and Aubak over here once.
I was a bit slow there.
How?
Okay. So then,
Imagine, Rita. Imagine. And that time I'm the HRO. Submit CV. Wait, bring the CV. Let me review. Am I not the HRO here?
look like this CV is gonna end up with donuts on top of it.
Sure. Yes.
All
And
right.
I'm
So,
wondering, like, what are they saying? CV. What job are we talking about? Job that I've
well, Mina,
taken.
I don't know why I thought it was a submission that he wanted to submit.
Yo, guys. Sure. No, man.
Hey, Labon, I'm liking what I'm hearing. So I want to submit a CV of myself. Maybe what I'm hearing, maybe what I'm seeing might interest you.
The sad thing is what you're
Kanajani.
hearing. What you're hearing it late. I heard this 6 months ago.
What did you hear 6 months ago?
Exactly what he's hearing
Have,
today.
have you taken any action?
How?
Have you taken any action, Mr. Asian?
If I hadn't taken in,
That's a
even
good
No,
those in the
question.
Kanya, if
comments, those who
Mr.
barely know
Asian
us,
is.
are already telling you that you wanted to take my wife.
If you are.
That should tell you a lot.
You are still delaying, Mr. Asian, to all the women in wife. Mr. Asian, Kanya. But I send a CV. Baba serious, what's up?
Do you think
Baba
I was joking
serious.
when I started hosting lives?
You
I
are a
wasn't
smart
joking.
man, Aubakwe.
When I started hosting lives, I wasn't. I was intentional. I knew I wanted them all.
Keralor Kanya, how mendo.
Choice. Kanya, are you really saying there's a competition now?
May the
This girl.
best man win.
You saying there's a competition now? Well,
Even Bali Rita agrees with me. May the best man win. So, Marcia, you joined the panel for a reason, my darling. What piqued your interest tonight?
I was invited in here in Gadlal, like I'm kidding.
And then invite you ngabanjani? Mina, why? Mina, ancient, why have you never invited me? And these people that you invite, Mina, you see now, you're already losing 1 point.
Kanya, the first day you came
Kanya.
on this live were you not invited?
No,
The
I
first day you
wasn't.
came on.
I wasn't. I
Well,
ran into your live, Mina.
there's no way you were invited. So usually when you start a live, you would see there's an option for suggested things, for suggested contact or whatnot. Now you have to think. You have to just click on invite, invite, invite. Whether you know them or not, just invite. Some of them
Mm.
might join. I'm sure that's how you and many other people join the live as well.
No, that's true. But like besides the invitation, I was just bluffing there. This is such a very for me it's a very personal topic. I'm very passionate about this to the extent that I am very intentional about how I parent my own child. Ne? So I think I remember the rules of the group that I answer each question from top, right?
Yeah.
Okay, so are our children inheriting traumas we got from our parents? My very straightforward answer to this would be yes, but it depends, right? It depends on whether you, the one who has the trauma, are you aware of your trauma and how far are you in your own journey in terms of healing? Because most of our trauma that we got from our parent, it's not easy for us to acknowledge or even heal from, because our parents are people that we've put on such a big pedestal, right? So in our lives, if you're Christian, most Christian regard them as their have like their earthly gods, you know what I mean? So they respect them that much. It's not easy for people to acknowledge, number one, that I suffer from this because I took it from my parents. And when they now send it over to their kids, it's not easy for them to acknowledge that too. You'll hear that most people will say, no, I grew up like this. Why would I change? Why would I do it differently? I didn't die. But whilst they're just, enforcing trauma on their kids. So yes, we do inherit trauma and then pass it over to our children. It all depends on the parent. As a parent, I believe we all have a conscience, right? So if you're doing something, whether it was done to you previously as a child or not, if you're doing something to your own child and that leaves you with so much guilt, that should be pointers to say you're doing something wrong. This, as much as it was done to you, you shouldn't do it to the next person. But most of us, I think we just kill that guilt by fooling ourselves into thinking, I was brought up this way. But yeah, that is my answer. And then my number two is, are we ruining our children by overcompensating for our parents' shortcoming? You are these questions, but they're interesting. I like them. Yes and no. Yes and no. There are people who are so traumatized, right? Or who suffered so much in their childhoods that now that they have kids, they just want to shield their kids to a point of unreasonability, to a point where it's no longer realistic. But I think the baseline here is you as the parent needs to be healthy enough to be realistic to say, it's okay, fine. I might have went through this and I don't want my child to go through the same, but other things are just necessities of life. The person needs to go through those things in order to prepare for the future, not necessarily to kill the person or to just put the child through hardships, but it is just necessary things. For example, let's say I grew up in severe poverty and my parents couldn't afford much. I grew up in a world with so many no's, 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 right? It would not help my child to bring him up in a world full of yes, 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 because the world does not operate like that. As much as the world is not full of no's, it's also not full of yes. So yeah, some parents do overcompensate. You'll find that someone grew up very poor. They worked so hard and they afforded to raise their kids maybe in a suburb somewhere, but those kids end up like being nothing, like absolutely nothing, because they really never got a chance to survive. The parents never really gave them a chance, never really gave nature a chance to taste their kid's strength and for the kid to actually develop. Because when you let a child face challenges, not challenges that you deliberately make the child go through, but when you let a child just go through life as life comes, you actually teach that person to have confidence in themselves, because the more they know that they can trust, that they can think out of a situation or fight themselves out of a situation, then
they will have confidence that next time when a bigger thing comes, they will not scramble. They will not suffer from things like anxiety. Little things will not bring them anxiety and self-doubt and things like that, because they will know that they've been through things before and they saw themselves coming out of situations. So yeah, that's my answer. And then, okay, the third point is, now that you know better as an adult, what did you have to forgive your parents for? You, Sana, kwaba personal. So for me, I grew up with parents who were very traumatized and who were very angry at each other, very angry at each other. And yeah, there were no rules in their world. So a lot of me as a child growing up, a lot of myself was lost in my parents' battles, their failed marriage, them just now trying to navigate life as a separate couple, as separated, sorry, people, but with kids. It left me so much trauma. It left me so much trauma. I had so much confidence issues. I had to the point where I had just social issues. I didn't know who I was, because sometimes, when parents are fighting, um unfortunately you are the other parent's child, and you will carry a bit of them in you. And even as a child, sometimes you can tell that this person is not fighting me, but they are fighting the parent that they are fighting with in me. So maybe it's my mom going off at me, and I'm just like, what is going on? But as I realize, I'm like, oh, okay, she's actually fighting with my father. But my father is me. A part of me is my father. So it's just like a lot of things. So I had to forgive them for a lot, for a lot. But because they are people who are themselves and they come from the generation that they come from, they still do not agree with how I chose, or rather I chose to navigate life with them. Because Minashem, guys, let me be honest with you guys, I left my parents alone. For me, it was that deep. I left my parents alone. It was not easy to get through to them. It was not easy to even make them understand. Even with the assistance of psychologists, doctors, and people to intervene, it was just not easy. So I decided to say, you know what, I am going to do what most people don't do. And especially in the Black community, it is so taboo. But I basically cut my, my family off. Well, not permanently, but for now, because I decided to go on a journey so that I know exactly what my problem is with them and what is there for me to forgive. And because now I can't really be honest with myself while I am dealing with people who do not want to be honest and who do not want to be forthcoming, who do not, if every conversation is an argument, you ask a question, you argue, it's always a fight. And when you get home, because I stay by myself, when I get to my place, now I'm guilty. I feel like I'm always fighting my parents. So I was like, you know what, let me take a break from everything. Let me be in solitude. Let me invite God. Let me think about it. Let me pray. And then when I know that I have now accepted the apology that I will never accept, I will never get, sorry, and I can be reasonable, Nami, and put my emotions aside, then I can have the conversation with my parents. But for now, yeah, it is what it is. So, Batini, the next question is, would you fight an educator for disciplining your child? That's a very loaded question. If someone disciplines my child to where now they've caused bodily harm or psychological harm, I would not appreciate that. Not because I'm shielding my child. I almost called him my baby. Wow. Not because I'm shielding my child, but because I think from the way I parent my child, I'm not someone who actually causes harm on him for him to listen, and he actually shows that he listens. He listens. He does not need any corporal punishment. He's not someone who challenges authority. He is not, yeah. So if I was to get to a point where maybe a teacher is saying, I was speaking to your son and he was speaking back, and then I had to slap him, I will definitely have a problem with that. Um, but if, it's a matter of a conversation with my child and just calling the child to order, where within the bounds of reasonability and within where, as a parent, Nami, as a professional, because they're at work, teachers are at work, they're professionals, where it is still reasonable. And if I look at that situation and I see that if I was the teacher, I would have done the same thing if I was the teacher, then yeah, I wouldn't fight the teacher. But I mean, if you're going to cause bodily and psychological harm to my child and make my child hate school or just those type of things, then yeah, I will have a problem.
Okay, Marsha. I have a your child is a boy.
Yeah.
Are you a single parent?
Yes and no. I'm not a single parent. His father is very much in his life. It's just that he
You're
doesn't
co-parenting.
yeah. So he stays between us for holidays. He alternates. So he's with me during school, then he goes to his dad and things like that.
You and him are not together.
It's a touch and go situation. But if to the baby, from his perspective, we are very much together. From the child's in the child's world, we are very much together.
Okay. let me let me greet everyone on the panel again. I'll try and moderate Mr. Ancient for as long as I can. It's a Saturday. I'm about to open a bottle of something. So once things get to a different level, man, look, inheriting traumas from our parents. Maybe I've I've learned too much of the system and I accepted it as it is, and I'm willing to challenge it. But who am I to call it out as trauma from them parenting me for the first time as is, at my age, every day? They've never done this before together or even as individuals. To a certain extent, the only inheritance that I could ever speak of would be the inheritance genetically, of emotions, of personalities, of characters, of responses and stimulations. I feel like that is the only thing we really inherit. It is a genetic thing. The rest is just choices that people are making. And do they really have to have an effect on a child? Only in severe cases. What do I mean severe cases? I'm talking about hunger. I'm talking about physical abuse, emotional abuse, but to an extreme extent. Saying no to a child is not abuse. Slapping a child is not abuse. Abuse would be a consistent thing where you constantly do this and it's out of hand. Even the smallest of things you react with violence, whether verbally, whatever. But honestly speaking, big ups to our parents. I don't look at their shortcomings as something that is traumatic, or their failure being together or whatever as a trauma that the person must say this is now traumatic. No. Are we ruining our children for overcompensating? Once you put over, once you say compensating, it's they're ruined. I feel like we have a lot of people that we've got a lot of views. We've got a lot of. It's no longer the past where a fork is a fork, a spoon is a spoon. People are now having things that do both things at once, and they're trying this and that all at once on the same child, listening to this person, listening to that person. Oh, trauma, this, oh, nah. I feel like previously we'd had a simple manner of a simple manner of upbringing. Wake up, go to church, come back, go to school, do this, do that. You get time to play. Simple. But now we've got a lot of people doing a lot of things. Ingane amtinebesaz ukuthi ingane iyashaywa. A child will get beaten for being wrong, for backchatting, and it's not necessarily abuse. It's corrective behavior. We're correcting this behavior. But anyway, now that I don't have anything to forgive to my parents because I said what I said in number one, they don't know what they're doing. If I'm 28, they've been parents for 28 years and it's their first time. So honestly speaking, again, big ups to them, man. They're doing their best. There's no one who's perfect. So there's nothing for me to forgive unless someone is asking for forgiveness when they realize they have done something wrong. So if they don't see it, I'm not gonna put my mind and time on it. That I'm not gonna get an apology for this. I'm not even there. There are so many things that are happening. They made their choices. I'm not suffering. But anyway, would I fight and educate, discipline the child? I believe in disciplining a child, especially boys. They must be disciplined because either they'll become too confident or underconfident. So we need to tame this confidence in them. You see, I told you guys, I'm getting messages for that time. So, ladies and gentlemen, that's me. That's my time, Mr. Ancient. Thank you.
Okay, no, thank you guys. I see it's a Saturday. Many of us are preparing for the week as it ends. Maybe tomorrow, who knows? We might have to call it an early night today. I also need to sleep as well. I have to be at church tomorrow. But however it is, I want to say thank you guys. I'm not sure this topic will be coming up on the board tomorrow, just so you know. It might come up some other time, sometime in the future, but definitely not tomorrow. I'm getting something new as well. Marcia, do you have final words?
Oh my gosh. Oh, yes, Mr. Ancient. I think my final words would be, the issue of parenting and childhood, ne? It is too specific and too personal to the extent that two people can be brought up in the same household and have two different childhoods. So yeah, we opinions there will always shift. And when I opened, I did mention that a lot of us, we will never see anything wrong with our parents because society nje teaches us that they are our gods and they are perfect, and it's also fine. We all go through different experiences, and it's also okay. But thank you so much. Thank you again, Mr. Asian, for inviting me, and thank you for your inciting topics. They're really nice. Thank you.
I appreciate you. Thank you so much. Wendy, I see you said good night anyway, but is there any final words?
Thank you so much, guys. Yeah, like I would say on my side, forgiving parents isn't about excusing the harm as well. It's about accepting that they were imperfect humans shaped by their own wounds. Forgiveness free us more than anything, more than them, like whatever we went through with them. And also we have like positivity that we need to pass it on to our own kids. So yeah, parenting is a really being like aware as a parent that okay, this is there are problems. I need to build a positive environment for my child, and they must see their worth so that they will stand up for themselves in the future. Okay,
Okay,
bye guys.
guys. Thank you
Yeah.
very much, guys. It's time to say good night. It's an
Hello.
early night today. Kens, you just joined us and we are calling it a night. How are you, Kens?
Uh,
Kens, are you there?
oh, yeah, okay. It's fine. We'll see tomorrow.
Okay, thank you so much.
Yes,
Thank you.
I'm
Thank
saying it's
you.
okay. We will see tomorrow because yeah.
Yeah, no, thank you so much. To everyone in the comments, thank you guys. We're calling it an early night today. Yeah, thank you. I appreciate you for your time. Good night. Bye, Monsieur.